What is up, friends? Welcome to the big Esports conference. We are here in week 5. My name is Jeff, alongside the one and only Chef Billy here beside me. So we're going to get into some Overwatch action tonight. All week long, we have at University of Michigan taking on Minnesota, and I can't wait to keep it going here in Overwatch. Billy, what are your thoughts coming into this one tonight?
I mean, it's Michigan versus the Golden Gophers. And, this has been a dream. I'm doing Big Ten esports is kind of hype for me, being a big football and college hockey fan. But we are doing Overwatch today. And so we're going to take a look at the rosters. Before we get started today, we do have to put some ground rules down. We will be going through a map type, starting out in control. We'll go to hybrid, flashpoint, push, and then escort if we need it for a map number 5. We did have Minnesota ban out a map to begin things off with. That's going to be Nepal being banned. And we'll let you know what the starting map is here in just a moment. But we'll take a look at those rosters first. We'll see what Michigan and Minnesota have on the line for us. Michigan putting out OW2 on the tank, Flippy, Rowie, our good friend from Contenders, and from, of course, Collegiate Overwatch, Yamitra and Claymore to round out the Wolverines.
Yeah, Yamitra, the most experienced of the bunch here. I mean, been playing competitively since 2019, really came into their own on Drifters in 2021, and went on to play with Northwood for a good stint through a very dominating couple of seasons with that collegiate team. A lot of punching power here from Michigan in that squad. Minnesota, they're coming in 3-1. They're 4th seed. They're looking to see if they go up in the standings as they take on this experienced Michigan team. We're going to kick things off on Lijiang Tower. Let's not waste any time getting into it.
Yep, and I mean, we'll take a look at the power rankings a little later on, but right out the gate, Michigan really starting to assert their dominance already. There goes the takedown. Vantage being taken down by OW2 here on the Sigma.
Yeah, that's a huge start right out of the gate to lose the take that early. And then follow-up kills there will just solidify things here for Michigan right out of the gate. They kick things off strong on guards.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's the May, being able to cordon off the Gopher squad. And, I mean, this is what Michigan does. We know that Yamitra very, very well versed on the Baptiste. We know them for the Lucio as well, but I like that we are seeing them in this flex support role here. So, we'll see how they get going along the way. I mean, look, that already almost has a window online, Jeff.
Yeah, Immortality Field has to be used early here from Cupcake, and still they cannot keep Vantage alive as OW2 just continues to seal up every single door Minnesota try to enter through. Flippy comes up with a pair on the back of the fight to solidify this one. 2 in a row for Michigan.
I mean, Akua, doing the smart thing and getting out there instead of feeding over more charge. And poor Vantage has not been able to play this game so far. Only 27% towards a Rampage. That is absolutely criminal. And, I mean, you're going up against one of the strongest tanks right now in our meta. Just gets so much work.
Ooh, that's double damage. Vantage trying to turn tail and run, but cannot get out of there in time. Rowie even lands a headshot down the back of it to close it out. There's no way. I mean, a railgun through an ant matrix, that is just instant death. And now OW2 has got a couple of people just stuck on that far side. It was both supports. Salami manages to escape out. Coldbear gets a kill onto Rowie. So a sliver of hope here from Minnesota as they manage to hang on through this chaotic fight. Salami has now got some point presence, but they're by themselves. How they choose to use the sound barrier is going to be clutch. Can any reinforcements make it back? It looks like they will. Minnesota starting to regroup into this fight. Now, OW2 still a threatening menace on the point with their ultimate to boot. Akua's gonna pop the blade, see if they can even things up. Blizzard is out from the other side, but Akua manages to avoid it and has a sound barrier to keep him alive, but Rowie is here, just slicing through the opponents. Minnesota's trying to bring him back. Cupcake does not want to give this one up. Vantage is fighting their heart out. Minnesota might actually win one. 97%, there's somebody here to at least trigger the overtime, Billy.
Yeah, but I mean, OW2 flipping that around there. The sound barrier difference there, the later sound barrier. Vantage is all alone, surrounded by Wolverines. And the accretion is massive. Good God, Vantage, though, turning it around. Holy cow, Jeff. They actually make that work. I mean, they had the earlier sound barrier. That overshielding actually staying around just long enough for them to flip the point. I like the fact that Akua's gone over to this Tracer as well, so there's a lot more lethality than what we saw with that Genji from Akua.
I love the patience out of Salami Boy as well. It would have been very tempting to pop that sound barrier way earlier, just in a desperation. But they managed to stay alive and hang on to it enough to empower Akua with the blade. Good play. Now an Amp Matrix out from Minnesota to hold what they worked so hard to obtain. With that early kill on the Flippy, it's a good start. Accretion Rock, though, just sends Akua back to the grave. It's going to be a Gravitic Flux out from Vantage. I think it just caught one. Ooh, nice accretion on the way out, but still can't solidify the kill on Toby1 just yet. Your Mitra, though, gets popped out of the back. Looked like just as the Amp Matrix came out.
I mean, look at this. I mean, popping the overclock here, and I mean, Cold Beer actually turning this around. A big reason why we are at 50% and counting, and the kills are still coming through. We're looking at mirror comps now, Jeff, and I think this is the right play here from the Gophers. They have made their statement. They have made their stand. Now they're closing in on 65%, and you're looking for this sound barrier. Once again, Salami Boy getting so much work on this Lucio, being able to disengage and engage with the amp speed.
Ooh, closer there from Cheese. Really wants the boop off the side. Doesn't look like they were able to get it. You make sure to try to keep everything healthy through the, well, in addition to the Gravitic Flux coming out from Toby1. But Toby1 took so much damage from that. They're not able to push in and follow up on any of these kills. Vantage just goes low. Toby1 using it as a sound barrier, gets aggressive on the back of it. Still Vantage just dancing around the Amp Matrix and finds, almost found the kill, should I say. Rowie ends up taking him down in the end with a little help from Yamitra. It was a big overclock that's going to solidify this point, but Minnesota brought it all the way back from the brink, Billy.
I mean, they're back on the point. I mean, they're dancing on top of the shield. I mean, you're looking for the touches there. Salami Boy actually gets killed out there. You've got a May on the point. They didn't get a chance to have that Blizzard come to fruition. The Amp Mayor?
Now there's a May in the river.
Oh, my God.
Vantage did get this Gravitic Flux up, which, I mean, just good on him for even getting it built up in that short amount of time there at the very end. But still, it's all for naught. Wolverines will emerge victorious, though it was a bit of a rocky road there in the middle.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff. I mean, the fact that they bought into the mirror kind of harkens back to what we saw happen with the World Cup this past weekend. Sigma too strong right now, especially with a May and a Lucio getting you around. The other DPS can actually really turn you around here. But the big thing is that you have to have a Sigma right now. It's just so free right now. The stability, the sturdiness, the staying power is just too dang good. Now look at what Minnesota's might be bringing out here. You're not going to have the Symmetra, but you got the Lucio to get you around. We'll see how Michigan handles this.
Yeah, the Sigma became particularly popular once Bastion rose in popularity. And, well, Cole Beer is going to bring out one of the most highest damage dealing heroes on the roster. But an Immortality Field has to be used once again at the very beginning of the fight for Minnesota. But this one pays off, as they're able to find 2-3 kills on the back of it. Cupcake far more satisfied with that lamp.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you absolutely take that if you're Minnesota, and that's exactly what they needed. Now, if they're able to turn it back from a 99-0 deficit, and they brought it to 97-100, if they lead out this way, I mean, they really did measure out their attack and you know, their defense of this point as well. So we'll see if they can get the same kind of result.
The Maze created a little bit of a gauntlet there in the middle, and Vantage gets caught between both of those walls. Horrible spot. Ends up being a frozen coffin there for the Sigma. Still, Minnesota are trying to hang on to this for as long as they can, but it is looking very difficult without the take. Akua manages to get one, but that's going to be, Toby1 falls as well. That's actually very important. That kill from Cupcake means Michigan can't hold the door.
They can't hold the door. No Hodor for you. Now we're going to, be looking at the artillery strike. Blizzard online already. I mean, Cupcake's going to be able to address the point with an Amp Matrix. This is absolutely massive from them.
Akua's having some fun up top. Meanwhile, down low, it's a big old bay window, puts out a lot of damage. Oh, but it could be just a bait. The Blizzard comes in on top of it. Michigan scrambling to find any place warm. They manage to get cover around the corner. Their Amp Matrix falls on nothing. Ult from both sides. So far, no kills. Back to a 5v5 here on this point. Walls up. Yeah, I'm not sure anybody got caught. There's a little bit of a gap there. Looks like Cole Beer around the outside, though, is preventing Michigan from getting too close to this, and it keeps him stuck long enough for a huge flux. What a 1-2 punch out of Minnesota. Cole Beer holds him in place. Vantage sends him back to spawn.
Flippy having some fun, but ends up getting taken down in the interim. Big eat from Vantage, though, on the Flippy Blizzard. Denies the counterattack coming in from them. So, I mean, you know, now you've got Blizzard advantage by about 20% and moving. You've also got Sound Barrier in your back pocket for this upcoming Gravitic Flex from Toby1.
Give me that flux from Toby1 to start things off. It caught the Bastion in it, but there's the Sound Barrier there still. Oh, Cold Beer got so low. The supports did such a good job of keeping it away. It takes an overclocker. Yeah, Rowie just had to pop that and sacrifice themselves to kill the Bastion, but it looks like that sacrifice will not be in vain.
Nope, but I mean, I think, get out. Are you going to be able to get out? You're going to be able to get out. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out. Salami Boy kind of riding the wave there. They do end up getting out of said fight, and now they're going to be able to get back and taxi their team back onto the point.
Yeah, it's huge. Salami Boy just able to jump right back in here. Quick re-engage coming out of the Gophers, but Roy will not be in this fight long. Neither will Cold Beer. So it's a 4v4. Both teams missing a DPS. Michigan have the window up, and there's no more Ant Matrix on the other side. Excuse me, Immortality on the other side. There's a Blizzard to worry about, though. Oh, no, Advantage is just free reign, melting all the frozen targets. Minnesota are going to flip this back, are on track to win this submap.
I mean, this is a fantastic turnaround for them. They really have measured out their ultimates so nicely, taking the initiative with a lot of them. Now you've got the Tracer coming back from Rowie. See if they can get a one-play.
Early Ant Matrix up. Flippy's still a bit away from the Blizzard, so should be able to get full use out of that. Cold Beer didn't seem to have their assault configuration on the back of it, but still Salami Boy manages to find the Tracer. Now it's going to be the Sound Barrier out from Michigan, though they're already a player down. They do equalize that kill on advantage. Rowie was just skirting the line along the outside. Excuse me, that was Cold Beer. Good shot there from Salami. She's going to go down. Flippy almost manages to get that kill. Freezes up through the Gravitic Flux. Now Sound Barrier out from Minnesota trying to bring this back despite missing their May. Toby1 along the outside gets caught out by Cupcake. Cold Beer on this point. Searching for anybody daring to get in the range of this big Gatling gun. Rowie dances around to pick up the kill, but Michigan just have no reinforcements left. This one's headed over to Night Market.
Yep, I mean, good focus fire there coming from the Golden Gophers, and they do take control center 100 to 55. They opted to the mirror and get immediate results for it, Jeff. So now heading to Night Market. Do we see Symmetra come out here? Do we see maybe an Orisa come out here as well? I like the Bastion look here from Minnesota. We'll see if they're actually able to continue on with this. I don't see that. I don't see that Symmetry yet. So, you know, are we just going to rely on speed from Salami Boy to move the Bastion around? It worked for them on Control Center. So, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You know what? We saw this Michigan team play very recently, and their opponents tried to bring a Symmetra strat on this map. Michigan just brought a Junkrat and got a 4K, like, immediately, right out of the gate. So maybe some Minnesota, they're like, no. We don't want to try to sim strat against these guys. Good wall. Kind of separated Minnesota on their approach, but that was Michigan on the approach. I feel like the colors are wonky and confusing the hell out of me, y'all. I apologize. But Vantage comes up with the opening kill. It's Rowie who actually falls first. Toby1 and Michigan make it to the point first, and then get a Kua on the approach. So 4v4 on the point. Cold Bear on the outside, though. He's got an assault configuration and a couple of different targets to look at. Can't shoot through that ice block. Flippy eventually goes down once the ice block fades. Cryo freeze, technically. So does the rest of their squad.
I mean, what a great first fight for them. I mean, they hold outside of Dojo here. And then, move their way onto the pagoda. I like the patience that Minnesota showed there. Michigan, though, Yamitra has a window coming up. I don't think that Minnesota are going to be expecting this so soon.
Could catch them off guard for sure. Especially the way Minnesota was playing that far back. But they go ahead and retreat out of the vulnerable courtyard. Find cover onto the objective. Still, Vantage took some hurt, and now here's that Ant Matrix from the left-hand side. Minnesota just cower in the corner. Wall comes up, and a flank around the other side. And answering Amplification Matrix is late. Cold Beer not able to take full advantage. Though this Flux is massive. That's got 4 in it, but geez, Johnny on the spot with the Sound Barrier, and Michigan aren't going anywhere.
Nope, that is a fantastic amount of presence there from the Michigan squad. She's with that beautiful Sound Barrier coming in. Really good support play there from Michigan. Actually flips the point in their favor at 47%. It did, cost them both their support ultimates, but now we're going to look for OW2 to really start the aggression here with this gravitic flex. Maybe, stymie some of the pressure coming in.
Yeah, OW2 is just going to go ahead and fall back and wait to use it. Oh, tried to bait him into this entryway. Manages to get 2 or 3, got 3 with that. Slamming him down into the Blizzard. Oh, man, there was no hope for Vantage, but Coldbeer's response is good. And Minnesota are up 1 player in this fight, and only just now having to use some important cooldowns. It's going to be an artillery strike. So try to even the odds here, right into the entryway. Doesn't find anything, but it sends Minnesota reeling long enough for Roey to come in and find that kill. Roey turns attention on to the May. A Cryo Freeze comes out. May trying to dance around. Blizzard out from Minnesota. Doesn't look like it caught anything. Michigan's able to just scamper out of the way, stay warm, stay safe, stay on top and in control of this fight.
Oh, man. I mean, that is a great amp speed away from the Blizzard. I mean, there was walls. There was a bastion on the point. Wow. So much happening right there. And they hold on to it. So, I mean, now as we approach 60%, you're looking for another Yamitra. Well, Amp Matrix here to hold off the front steps.
There's an answer from the other side. Michigan have been so good at the way they play this double entryway. Gravitic Flux start things off. From Vantage. That was blocked by a cell barrier. Amp Matrix is indeed up from the defending Michigan as they try to hold on, but they've lost Rowery already. Here comes the answering Flux out of OW2. Sound barrier from Salami Boy. And Vantage manages to clean up all the meantime. Not a care in the world. Barely break out a sweat. Minnesota survive both the Amp Matrix and the Gravitic Flux, and they've come back in to steal this point away. This one's going the distance.
Woo! It is going to definitely go to the distance, but they got to be perfect from here on out. 94% there for Michigan. You're looking at a flippy Blizzard coming up to the next fight, Jeff, and I think that's going to be a big kicker. They had to use their sound barrier in the previous fight to defend not only against the artillery strike, but then the Gravitic Flux. It was so much to defend against.
And Flippy is just enough ahead, or it could be the difference maker. Oh, but Akua's managed to land a couple of icicles in that time I was talking and caught up. So both teams will have the Blizzard. Let's see if we can get in position and use it first. Minnesota with a... just has to hold off maybe one more fight, even as how slow as this approach from Michigan has been. There's the wall, stunned out, didn't use the Blizzard. Dangerous move. Flippy actually gets theirs out first. And manages to find quite a few with it, including Vantage on the other side. Vantage is so low. Rowan will finish him off with the artillery strike and gets Salami Boy in the meantime. In this final fight, Michigan's patience has been rewarded as they steal it away once again in the twilight hour.
I mean, absolutely fantastic first map here from both schools. Holy cow, the interstate rivalry is alive and well between the Golden Gophers and your Wolverines. But the Wolverines come out big time. I mean, this was closer than I was expecting. I'm absolutely impressed with both these teams recognizing each other's strengths and weaknesses and absolutely capitalizing upon them. And Cold Beer, yeah, Vantage got it done. I mean, both, all the roles, across the roles, you saw the play and counterplay. It was so dang good. Man, this is going to turn out to be one fantastic series, Jeff.
I mean, we already saw a couple of strategies kind of go through the mix, and our teams try, Jungle Queen look coming out of Minnesota to start, and try to match, start off with a Tracer as well. Sure, that could have been a little bit more sub-map specific, but still, I felt like we've seen a couple of ideas coming out of both of these squads already, and indeed, it was just the core. I mean, really the May look coming out with the Sigma from Michigan that ended up kind of being the difference maker here.
Well,
maybe looking at our lobby on screen at the moment. A little behind the sneak peek here as we get set up for map number 2. This is, we are headed to Hybrid next. With Michigan getting that victory, they will get to ban out a Hybrid map.
Now we'll just decide, are we going to go to Kings Row, which I would assume is where we're heading. Yep, it looks good. It looks like Michigan has banned out Paraíso. So I would think that maybe we'll be heading to Kings Row. There's a couple other hybrid bats, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to go.
Blizzard World's been real popular lately.
No,
Blizzard
you're right.
World has been exceptionally popular with the Sigma comps, which I've enjoyed seeing. I think like Blizzard World has got a lot of variety to the map. Like all 3 points feel like they have a bit of a bit of their own flavor, a bit of their own strategy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. While we are waiting for that map pick to come in, let's go ahead and take a look at those power rankings that we're talking about. This is across all the titles. And yeah, there they are on your screen. It's a little too small for my old eyes to see, but it looks like if I'm looking at it right, it's Rutgers.
Get real close.
Yeah, I had to like get in there like, but yeah,
yeah, the Wolverines sitting at number 7. Yeah, Wolverines at number 7, Golden Gophers at number 11. So I mean, pretty darn close in the standings. And again, as you mentioned, this is across all titles for these power rankings. So these two teams will play across, Smash, Rocket League, Valorant, CSGO, and Overwatch. Michigan and Minnesota will be facing off in all those titles all week long. So those rankings could shift fairly dramatically by the end of this week, depending on how those things play out.
You know, and one of my favorite gamer names of all time, one of our early casting Rocket League together was Mom from the University of Minnesota. Yeah. So I have to
Who doesn't love Mom?
I said, oh, you love Mom. I love Mom. Everybody
doesn't love Mom. Shout out to the Golden Gophers Rocket League squad.
They're a pretty darn good team, too. But it looks like we are going to be heading to Kings Row. So, no, I mean, really no surprises there. Now, that brings to mind, are we going to see Reinhardt come out here? Or are we going to see a Ramatra? Are we going to see a Zarya? I mean, there's so many options now for this hybrid map. I mean, really, for a tank, the world is your oyster.
My big question is going to be more on the DPS line. I don't think we're going to get a change in tank or support. I think we're going to stick with the Lucio, Baptiste, and the Sigma. Now, do we see a Sojourn come out? Do we see a Sojourn come out, try to hold high ground and try to play a little bit more range? The Tracer also has a little bit more viability. Maybe Bastion, I think, would kind of be the core, but do our teams want to deviate from that core? Because is really, I think, going to be my focus as we head into this map. And give us a glimpse as to where our teams want to emphasize, like where their strengths are and where they emphasize, where they put their resources in that. So with that said, Michigan will be starting us off on the defense, so we'll get an earlier look at them. We're still waiting for that to load up, so bear with us just a second.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I like the Hanzo look here, honestly. We saw Hanzo come out a couple times. Sure. Across some different competitions. So, I mean, you know, you've got shield break potential with the Storm Arrows. You've got the Vision with the Sonic Arrow. Dragon Strike is a great zoning ultimate, you know, just like a Maywall. It does the same thing. It just basically keeps you apart from your team. So, I mean, we'll see. You know, there are so many different options right now. The fluidity of our meta right now is beautiful. I think that we're in such a great place. It allows such play and counterplay that, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting as a fan. It's exciting for us to be able to broadcast this, and for the players. I mean, the players are having a fun time. I'm seeing it across, you know, on Twitter. I'm seeing it when we talk to them in interviews. It's just a fantastic time right now.
I mean, I'm convinced more than ever collegiate Overwatch is the future of Overwatch. Like, this is only going to continue to grow and become more exciting, and I love every single bit of it. On the defense, kind of going as expected, we are getting that Sojourn that I hinted at, but Yamitra throwing us an interesting curveball. I haven't seen this before. The Iari can offer that long-range damage potential, and of course the Pylon puts out a good bit of healing. And on the defense, you don't necessarily need the speed as desperately.
No, you really don't. And I mean, Captive Sun, especially going up against the Junker Queen, the only thing that's really going to be able to deny you there is Immortality Barrier and maybe a deflect coming from Aqua.
Which, this Junker Queen is an interesting pick. We talked about how we saw Minnesota kind of run through this strategy a little bit. It didn't work out for them the first time, but they've managed to get some high ground here. Colbert up there, yeah, finds Yamitra from said high ground, though Vantage can't get any work done through the hotel. Front line kind of gets stalled out from Minnesota, and now I have a difficult choice to make of just hurl themselves at the point or try to retreat safely.
I mean, obviously a retreat is more desirable here, but I mean, if you can, you know, capture some semblance of the high ground, especially if you rotate Cold Beer up there or Aqua, try to get them on the opposite side high ground, I think that's where you really need to go to put some pressure on the back line.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw Cold Beer do in the first one. Here we go. There's the attack on Yamitra again. Look at all the Gophers going after poor Yamitra. No shot. You survive that. And Matrix down low. Maybe a little early. Now Michigan don't have a whole lot to fend this off. And Akua's got into the back fight too.
Absolutely perfectly played from the Gophers. They're going to go ahead and take this first point. There might be a contest, though. Salami Boy does have sound barrier. If they want to invest it, they might decide, to push forward and get, even more on the back of it. My goodness. I mean, that was a concerted effort to make sure that Yamitra was not allowed to play this first point.
Oh, yeah, smart. Very smart out of Minnesota, knowing that high ground was the wet card. Gravitic Flux out from Toby Watt. As the aforementioned Salami did have the sound barrier. Didn't even need to use it. Everybody from Minnesota just backs right on out. Now the sound barrier can be used to engage. Here they come. Cold Beer with an overclock, and Minnesota's just striving forward. Wall to use defensively, but it will not stop a katana. Now a rock beats blade, apparently. The paper katana scissors or something. No, paper rock katana. That's the game. That's the one.
Oh, God. Okay, you got there in the end. And I'm proud of you, my friend.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I know it took a moment.
I love this swap here from Roey. Going on to the Ashe, you have repositioning with Coach. You can get away from the Genji that's coming in on your face. Also, Bob will give you the 6-man when you need it.
And you have the added benefit of you don't have to be in the thick of the fight as well, which is exactly where Vantage wants everyone for this upcoming Rampage. Not a whole lot to back up. Yeah, Cold Beer escapes with a sliver of health. Wall up, Vantage is in trouble, especially with that Blizzard coming out. I don't see an Immortality Field on play yet. It looks like the speed from Salami Boy was good enough to get Vantage out of harm's way. And the Blizzard just adds a little frost onto King's Row, but doesn't really do any damage. Now Cold Beer comes jumping, leaping back up to the high ground, while Vantage and company throw the Rampage down low. That got only Toby one with it. Rally is out to keep the tank alive. And now there's a big Omnic Butler on the battlefield, keeping Minnesota at bay. Roby comes up with a pair of kills on the back of that ultimate, and Minnesota are sent packing.
Yep, they head for the hills. I mean, but look at this. We're still only at 3 minutes. There's a lot of payload that has been garnered here, 91 meters. And, Michigan emptied out the war chest there. 3 ultimates into the fight just to hold on to what they had. Now we've got changes coming in from Cole. Yeah, we've got swaps coming in here for Minnesota. Aqua over to the maid. Cold Beer to the Bastion.
A little bit of the old fastball coming out of Minnesota. Gravitic Flux, the only ult here for the defense of Michigan, and that's going to find just one, but it's an important one. Cupcake falls. Now it is. Oh, there's a lot of damage down. Salami Boy gets finishes off as well. And the one ultimate is all Michigan needed to stop Minnesota.
They almost get the Bastion too.
I think they're going to. Okay, no, they gave up on that. Okay. Heal showed up just in time.
Yeah, they took their 4 and win on back. The advantage is on the Sigma as well. So now we're gonna have the mirror once again, other than the DPS slots.
Oh, the Rocket takes Obi-Wan out of the kinetic grasp. And then, the Bastion right there to follow it up. What an incredible combo out of Minnesota. Very calculated, surgical execution. And they managed to get 2 more kills on the back of it. Minnesota picked that one apart meticulously. Well done.
Cold Beer is surgical with these grenade strikes, BT dubs. I am absolutely impressed. Knew that Ramitra was on the run there. And now you're looking at Sound Barrier and the Artillery Strike ready to go for Minnesota. You do have this window. I want to see where this window goes to see if they can get this control this corner.
It's just both windows right on top of you. Double plane damage. And Salami gets the brunt of it. Cold Beer finds themselves in the business end. A Cheese's triple shot. And Minnesota just stalled out immediately as they lose the exchange of the BAP ultimates.
I love it. I love it. They both committed at the same time. They're both thinking the same thing. Be aggressive. There's no dilly-dallying about with these ultimates right now from both of these teams. I love the commitment to these fights. So, this is going to be a dirty fight.
Yeah, flipping from the high ground with the Blizzard. Vantage never saw it coming. And I think the wall denied them any of that sound barrier. Salami Boy dropped it and everybody else is alive, but Vantage is in tatters. Colbeer and company still trying to push forward, using this blizzard to make it happen. See if they can take Toby1 out. Fine, no more tanks allowed in this fight. It's all DBS and supports. Papa, Rally, and Mitra will play mini tank here for the moment. Vantage is going to return with this Gravitic Flux. Colbeer, in the meantime, trying to put cheese into the grave. Finds both supports, as a matter of fact. Ooh, Colbeer continues to just melt everyone in their way, Billy.
Whoosh. Sorry, I had to. I just absolutely cracked one open there from Minnesota, and they're getting the job done. They're in the final stretch here, and they've got the window at their back.
Oh, now there's a window at their front as well. Looks like everybody is playing a little cautious around here, but Flippy Boy still finds themselves in the crosshairs of Salami. Toby1 using the Gravitic Flux to do some damage and get up to the high ground. Rock onto Akua, trying to chase him down. The poor little man gets punched in the back and the shield to block the incoming accretion. What a move from Toby1 to hold the line here with less than a minute to go. Still, work to be done from the defense as Colbeer's pressing forward with this assault configuration to mow down your Baptiste. But Salami falls, healing lacking, and Minnesota are on their last leg.
What a swap, by the way, from Rowie onto the Sombra. Lands a manual hack plus the virus, and then you see the finishing coming through from Flippy. They go back to the May and now the Sojourn, and now we're going to see the ultimate reset there. But, I mean, they got the job done. 29 seconds. They're going up against a sound barrier and an artillery strike.
One last chance here for Michigan to complete the map. They've got the tools to do it, but they don't have their Baptiste! No! Flippy might have just sealed the deal here. Again, with Rowie going down, Minnesota see a sliver of hope, but they have no time to wait for the Baptiste. 5 on the clock. They're going to buy as much as they can. They got a wall to get around. Soundbear gets Vantage at the last possible moment, but he cannot get close enough to the point. And Minnesota will have to settle for halfway through point B.
I mean, that point I was actually right towards the end. I think they had maybe 10, 12 meters to go. I mean, that payload was darn near complete, and they push it all the way back. Holy cow, what a defense coming up from the Wolverines. Finally drawing their line in the sand, but it took swaps. It took really lightning quick reflexes to decide, you know, okay, what's going to work in this situation. The fact that you saw Rowie and Flippy both come out on speed characters and that manual hack, and Flippy following up on the back of it really did solidify that last second defense. And they, you know, they leave and they stem the bleeding. And so 69 or 62.94 meters will be what your Wolverines need to bring it back and go on to match point.
Definitely doable. Let's see what Minnesota wants to do to defend. Looks like, you know, same second verse, same as the first. May Bastion. Now, so then the only question remains, who do you put on high ground and who do you leave down low? Like, if the May's up here, I mean, are your walls really going to be that effective? It'd be difficult for your walls to be super effective. Let me put it that way. I mean, Akua clearly has the skill, but making things more difficult than I think they need to be.
Right. I think, you know, are you trying to be sneaky? It looks like Akua did drop down to the low ground there, and, you know, they try to get the one shot there. So Rowie back over to the May here. You know, the battle of the walls will be coming up once again.
Of course, I should have known. Just drop that long-range icicle and then rejoin the rest of the team. Minnesota behind Hotel. Akua decides that they're going to put a little pressure here on Yamitra. Not a duel you really want to take. I think just kind of pulling some aggro and pulling the heads inside a little bit. And the defense of Minnesota has pushed forward at that same time. So Minnesota gained a little bit of ground up front, but Michigan makes the read. Now they're looking to respond with some cooldowns of their own. Catching Colbeer out with the counter punch. Vantage is really trying to keep a toe on that point. Detrimentally so. What a wall to make sure Vantage gets some healing, but a great wall in response comes out from Flippy, and eventually Vantage will fall. Fell at the last second. Yeah, Akua is not going to get to spawn up close.
Nope, and I mean, that is a fantastic first fight there from Michigan.
Nope. Oh, Akua was a half second from getting the subway spawn. Ends up in Foundry. The May is nowhere close to this fight.
I mean, this is your go sign then. This is absolutely your go sign to move forward, take position, you know, go past the bookstore and see if you can get an early window out. There it is.
Yeah, brilliantly done. What a read from Michigan. They knew it. They read the advantage. I mean, that was, again, a half second to make that read. So somebody had to be paying really close attention. I'm guessing Yamitra to make that call. And on the back of such a smart play, look at all the space Michigan have earned.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, the kills are still coming through. This is going to be a brutal second point defense here. You do have Cupcake. When they respawn, we'll have the window. But, I mean, look at this. They're holding first corner in the Foundry. This is exactly what they need.
Just keep Yamitra on point. Yamitra back cart button, I'm guessing. You can see Flippy here on your left-hand side with the Blizzard. This is going to be a nasty ambush. Oh, they get found out. Okay. Oh, Roy's, there you go. Put it in shots from long range. Ambush from the Blizzard doesn't exactly pay off, and it turns out to be a little bit late. But you know what? Who needs an ambush when you've got Roby clicking heads?
You love it. You love to see it. And, I mean, this is just really... this is classic Overwatch, Jeff. They're being super aggressive. They're taking fights on their terms, and they're not allowing any kind of sass from this Golden Gopher squad.
Oh, and that Flux is monstrous. That got 3. That'll force out Sound Barrier, Amplification Matrix, and the Lamp come out from Minnesota. A response from Vantage gets Flippy out in the end. So 4v4 here on this point. But Michigan still have a couple of tools to work with, and then they've got the caps. So Minnesota are just going to try to back out with what dignity they have left. Oh, that Ant Matrix might put an end to that. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Disgusting.
It's all going wrong. Oh, no.
Rowie ends up more accurate when you put a window in front of him. Like, I end up choking if I get nanoed or if I got a window. Rowie rises to the occasion. Look at that triple kill.
This is a good response back, but still there's too much pressure on the point, Jeff. This is turning from bad to worse here for the Gophers. They've got to get touch.
Slumber Boy manages to take Rowie out of the fight. There's only 3 left here if Minnesota can make it back. There's only a couple meters. It's a wrecking ball swap from Vantage to stall this thing out, knowing that if we get the spawns, Minnesota can get the stop. Ooh, swinging around for dear life. Spin to win is not going to pay off for Vantage. Reinforcements are a touch late. Michigan will take the map.
I mean, tooth and nail for both these teams.
Better
but
believe
the
it.
fight plan from Michigan was absolutely dirty. Rowie showing up huge. I feel the same way you do. Look at this. I mean, just ultra aggressive. I love to see it. Drops down to like 50 HP, gets healed right back up, and then just goes ham.
Manages to get 3 with an overclock before being froze up by the Blizzard. That's wow. What a play. What a play out of Rowie. And even though they end up, falling before the final cap comes through, they had already done so much work. Like that triple kill was enough to seal the deal. It only took 3 Wolverines to push it in from that point. So now it's Michigan up here with a 2-0 lead on match point as we go into the half. That brings us to a break. A little bit of time, Minnesota, to figure out what they can do to bounce back. We'll see you back here on Flashpoint in just a minute.
Turns out these rappers that got exposed. This rap game ain't about your street stripes and gold. This rap game ain't about your nice cars and clothes. You gotta follow proper procedure, learn the codes. You gotta know the game, know your X's and O's. They feeling the pressure now, ain't got no time to reload. It's easy, what you witnessing is dedication. Call me G-Dub, that way I be regulating. When you lose and they love you, when you win and they hate you, true. Envy and admiration, they'll never break you, true. I feel the negativity and I love it, just don't get out of line. These haters that lost their mind, true. We don't do the rules, death to legislation. I'ma set it in stone for every pessimist that's hating. My name ring bells, boy. Call me Hellboy, horns on my head. Prince of Darkness, y'all bellboys. Taking off like a jet, son, Elroy. I'm a breath of fresh air, y'all stale noise. Oh man, grown men and they feelings now. This feel like winter pan, wouldn't knock the buildings down. I had to give them birth, then I had to give them stale. This the gospel, can I get a witness now? The insecurity eating them alive, I feel the negative intent, but it's cool, I'm familiar with all of the BS success come along with. And I know a good defense is the best offense. I'ma grind it out till LA got an office, so y'all can bury me in a 24 karat coffin. It's been a long time coming, They say it's all about how bad you want it. Look, chill, black, switch the tempo, cause I feel that. Young and fresh, bringing back real rap. When you lose and they love you, when you win and they hate you, true. Envy and admiration, they'll never break you, true. I feel the negativity and I love it, just don't get out of line. These haters that lost their mind, true. I feel the negativity and I love it, just don't get out of line. These haters that lost their mind.
Welcome back, friends. We have Michigan up 2-0 at the half, looking to keep their perfect season alive here. As we head into Flashpoint, I mean, it's been close, Billy. Minnesota have kept each map, each even sub-map back on Lijiang Tower. It was very, very close.
I think the aggression here from Michigan is something that maybe Minnesota's not used to, because that was pretty brutal. The second point is where Michigan really stamped their authority on this series. So now we're going to see what do they have up their sleeve here in Suravasa. That's going to be our Flashpoint map. And I'm very, very, very excited to see what these collegiate teams bring here. Because Suravasa, to me, I think is the better of the two maps. Now, Sigma can play well here. Sigma can play well here.
You know what I was thinking?
What?
The Junker Queen can actually play well here. And this is something that we've seen come out in the beginning of Lijiang. We saw come out there on the attack from Minnesota on King's Row. It had limited success, but I wouldn't say that either of those maps are particularly strong for a Junker Queen, particularly if she's not meta. But Suravasa, Flashpoint in general, I think it could be a real asset.
Well, we've got a tank swap, though. And Vantage is no longer in the match. So I can't see the name from here, but it looks like King, if my eyes do me well. But, I mean, still, it could be that, maybe they're looking for a Reinhardt to come out here. There it is. I was expecting to see the Reinhardt. Yes! Give me all of it. Give me all of it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, let's not watch too much of that, or I'm going to get motion sickness. But, yeah, looks like Vined. I hope we're pronouncing that right. Apologies if we're not. We're going to go with Vined. I was actually going to swap over to the Sigma after a hilarious display of shield spinning. We are going to get Roy on the Sojourn, so you're going to get that long range, versus the Bastion that wants to play a little bit more mid-range.
We have seen this a lot, across competition. What a wall! Almost catches outside Vind there, but to no avail, alas. And now the foibles are out.
Vind trying to block off one half of Michigan and put damage down on the other, but ends up just getting converged on. And just I'm not even sure where they ended up. I think they just backed out of the other. There they are to the left. They were up on that high ground. Okay, I didn't see you up there for a second, Vine. That was a clever little spot. Throw some hyperspheres over the top of that corner. But all this while, Michigan is building up percentage on what are very fast points.
Yes, and I mean, it's all going to be about how to take space here. And oh my God, what a wall once again coming in. Good God,
Flippy has been so dangerous with those walls. I don't know how Minnesota managed to get through that one alive. Alive long enough to put their own A-Matrix down with the bash. Gets the brunt of all of that damage. Great play out of the Minnesota backline to ensure they can safely get in a position to put down the hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great fight turn. I mean, that's an early at Matrix. Great. You know, as soon as they had it available, as soon as they had the LOS on the point, they went ahead and let them have it. And boy, did the Gophers let the Wolverines have it there. And now they're going to start making their own progress as they cross 15% and counting.
Minnesota are not content to just sit back on the point. They want to get aggressive. They want to get in the face of Michigan, not let them have any room to breathe, not give them an inch. And Matrix now up from the Wolverines. And Colbert just kept their barrel out there a little too long. Sound barrier, Blizzard in, and this one's going back and forth. Two get frozen up. Salami Boys, sound barrier is going to fade, and Vine will eventually go down. All the attention onto Akua is enough to send them packing as well. And what was a downright brawl out here. Well, dust settles, and Michigan are still standing.
Absolutely. I mean, well, I mean, it's going to flip back and forth now. I think that Minnesota, you know, this is that point where you decide, you know, you're at 69, 70%. You decide if you're going to go in and try and recontest here, especially with the artillery strike and the Blizzard at your back, or do you give up the point and go for flashpoint number 2?
Looks like Minnesota's going to go ahead and take this fight. As, oh, Vine gets caught in the Gravitic Flux on the approach. And just barely makes it on the objective, but it's just limping with a speck of health left, easily disposed of by Cheese on the Baptiste. And this point is going to go towards Michigan. They start off Shervasa in the way that they wanted, in control.
Absolutely massive from Michigan. Great fight planning once again. And you know what? They're going to, you know, have a chance to take a look at the next flashpoint. We're going to see where we're going here. It looks like we're heading towards Palace.
That's certainly where Michigan is heading. They're just gonna hold the line outside the front door here. No swaps out of Minnesota just yet. Still want to isolate Toby Wan. Oh, but Vine's got to be careful. Just enough of a gap for them to get out safely. And Matrix, though, and Akua gets stuck. God, Akua died way inside there. What a shot from Flippy to find that kill before Akua could duck around the corner. Now, you know, down players. Minnesota are just stuck in a room. Michigan come in to finish what they started into a blender. Go the Golden Gophers.
I mean, and that's just a beautiful fight. I mean, just charge rail shot after charge rail shot coming in from Wooly just gets the work done for them. They're going to have a Blizzard for their troubles. A little bit of an extended fight there to consolidate their hold on the point. So it's going to be Blizzard versus Blizzard here. But Minnesota do have that sound barrier advantage.
Approaching this first corner. Early use of the connector strike. It's still Minnesota want to fight. Up front, the Blizzard gets eaten. Already one of those big advantages is gone. The Minnesota trepidatiously just stuck at the front door. The Gravitic Flux somehow didn't pick up cold beer, but they end up dying in the end anyway.
I mean, what a catch there. I mean, Akua, unfortunately, does get it out. The stagger is going to be very real here onto Cupcake. Oh, no. This is brutal.
I mean, there's no way to reset. Yeah, the best you can do is just run away. Absolutely brutal. And it's going to ensure that Minnesota will not get a clean fight here in the end. And it looks like they've opted to not even take one at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smart decision there. I mean, with such a long stagger and the travel time back onto the route. However, for their trouble, you know, they didn't invest the At Matrix, so they do have that in their favor. Cold Beer and company are going to try and get the jump onto the Wolverines here. They might have a chance to make it there.
This is a race.
This is a race.
As they exchange some blows early. Michigan's going to head down the stairs. Minnesota trying to cut him off at the pass. Looping around to the outside. A little bit more cover out here. You can see Michigan are kind of all sitting out in the open. So they're going to drop an ant matrix. You don't have defense. Might as well have a good offense. Blizzard thrown in the mix as well. Overclock. Everything in the kitchen sink here from Michigan. They do hold on to that sound barrier. But the other three ultimates combine for a good set of kills and easy control here over this third objective. And the last one they need to seal out this series.
I mean, it was Cheese that actually put out that Ant Matrix. I thought it was Cupcake, but no, Cupcake actually still held on to theirs. So they do have a way to get onto the point and really pump the damage in, especially with that turret configuration. So we're going to see if they decide to invest it here.
Another fantastic wall out of Flippy. I got a creation rocker as well. Vod is really getting the tank experience right now. Over to the top with a Gravitic Flux. Gotta make sure you're not getting taken down by that Bastion. Decent damage done, but the sound barrier from the Matrix keeps everybody alive. Well, everybody except for Cheese when it was all said and done. Michigan rotate back around onto the objective, and Minnesota have taken up shop outside the door where Akua can put down a shot on to Flippy this time. Along the outside, here comes Cold Beer dropping the excuse me, what's that form called? Assault form. That's
the
the
assault
one.
configuration.
Wow.
Actually,
Scary form. That's what it's called. It's called Nightmare Fuel.
It's the Nightmare Fuel, yes. I mean, only the Ant Matrix invested from the Golden Gophers there, so they've got a 4-pack to defend this point. I mean, we did see Michigan get to 73%. Tobawan has a flux of their own, but so much to defend against it, Jeff.
Yeah, Minnesota needs it. I mean, they've got to be pretty much perfect for the rest of this matinee, the rest of the series. Flux and start things off, and Matrix from both sides. Sound barrier is good. No death thus far after a big exchange of ultimates. The Blizzard from Minnesota might be the difference maker here. Well, but a 2 from Minnesota actually fall, trying to move out and find those kills. Cupcake manages to get Flippy. That's probably the most important one given the state of things, given how dominant Flippy has been. But still, Yamitra is here and just in a 1v1 versus Salami Boy. It's a 1v1 with our Lucios to determine who's going to get to this point. What an important Lucio duel. Yamitra over the top, gets the boop. Off the point you go. Won't find the kill. Reinforcements are showing up, though. I'm not exactly sure for which day. Oh, those are Michigan reinforcements. Oh, this is not looking good for Minnesota.
Well, I mean, you take Flippy down, so I mean, that's the wall and the Blizzard off the board here. So they win the point.
It was an artillery strike. Yeah, that artillery strike actually did it for him.
Wow. I mean, that's all Salami Boy there contesting the point for that long. And then, holding off just long enough for that artillery strike to come through. So now for Minnesota, I mean, they still have this Gravitic Flux in their hand. But, I mean, it was pretty expensive for them. They are kind of weighing them out nice. And nice wall coming up from Flippy once again.
That was Salami Boy surviving a 1v1 against one of the strongest main supports we have in this league. Blizzard now out from Flippy. That's going to find both DPS. Oh, no, and Minnesota are just sunk. They have no hope. No life paddle. Just a hole in the boat, and it's sinking quickly. Cupcake, there to plug it a little bit, but there's still a few more holes.
Oh, boy. That was just a brutal fight, and you saw Yamitra kind of get their revenge, booping the Bastion back into the Blizzard, because they had actually escaped from the clutches of it. But, yeah, decided to make a Bastion sickle out of them in the end. So now, Ant Matrix and the Overclock. We know how good this combo has been all day, Jeff.
Yeah, and how good Rowie has been all day. Oh, my goodness. I mean, a dive in from the dude. It's a Toby one that we've barely gotten to touch on. They end up somehow falling off the map. Gravitic Flux finds 3, but Flippy takes Vine out of the sky. Overclock here from Rowie has certainly been an X factor all series long. Gets nothing. It's Salami Boy who comes in from the outside, completely disrupts, and gets a kill onto Yamitra as well, I believe that was. What a play coming out from Salami Boy. Their Lucio has been exceptional here for this Suravasa.
Definitely giving Yamitra a run for their money. I mean, he has had a fantastic day so far. I mean, you've now look at the sound barrier difference, you've got the window difference, and you've got the Blizzard ready to go. Vind, I want to see what they've got here up their sleeve, as they did use a Gravitic Flux in the last fight.
Yeah, holding off Toby one has been no small feat. Minnesota hold on point. Michigan doesn't want to push in yet. They're waiting for this blizzard to come online from Flippy, I believe. Yeah, there it is. That wall will do it. Venge is able to take Rowie down on the approach. The blizzard comes out, but Flippy also falls. I don't know if anybody's here to follow it up. The only one here is Cold Beer mowing through everybody with a Bastion.
You love to see it. I mean, that is 2 ultimates in that fight, so they've still got the sound barrier. They've still got the artillery strike. They've got enough to bring this to a flashpoint number 5. And I think for the Wolverines, I think they just got to give it up. And look at this nice forward positioning coming through.
And once again, Patience out of Salami Boy with their sound barrier. Very smart use of the ultimates. Very smart play from this Lucio in general. Incredibly impressive. And now they get to hold on to this, which could be a huge advantage going into this 5th and final point on Suravasa. An early sound barrier could get first control to Minnesota.
Oh, I love it. I'd love to see that. That would be a great play for them coming in. But Cold Beer's so low, taking so much damage from the Sojourn.
Yeah, and sound barrier might be have to use to fend off this 5-player Chromatic Flux. Cupcake is picked out of the sky. The sound barrier only finds 2 before everyone else is already dead. That's how fast Michigan just erased the board with Minnesota.
Oh, what a wall once again. Using it to not only get to the high ground, but also to section off Vind. And that is an absolutely perfect fight plan there from Michigan. Now, it did cost them their flux and their window, but I mean, they got the maximum value out of it. So now you're looking for sound barrier engagement. I mean, Salami Boy put theirs out, so they've got that advantage. And they've also got Flippy coming up very close on their Blizzard, so they've got that advantage as well.
All up here for Michigan. Minnesota approaching in. Going around that far right-hand side. Ooh, W1 is separating themselves from the rest of the pack. Sound barrier has to be used from Yamitra. Make sure that they don't fall. The boom!
Oh, no.
Cold Bear ends up in one of the only gaps you can find here on Suravasa. And Minnesota now struggling with only 64%. This is a dangerous moment. This flux needs to be big, but Vin's not able to get anyone with it. Still, Minnesota are hanging on by a thread. Another great wall from Flippy. Salami Boy could be in some real trouble here. Defensive wall out of Akua bails them out at the last possible moment. Artillery strike here to try to save the day. There's an overclock coming in from the other side, but Colbert does enough damage, or at least distraction, that Minnesota are not done. Vin goes down. It is just Akua on the point. Colbert returning. The Blizzard doesn't get anything. No, they don't touch. Colbert didn't touch, and Michigan wins it all.
Oh, they had it in their clutches. Oh, no. Okay. I mean, this was probably one of the closest 3-0s that I have ever had the pleasure of commentating, Jeff. This was back and forth all series long. It came down to the last flashpoint. I mean, there's no other way we could have seen this go. I mean, this was absolutely magnificent from both these squads.
I mean, every map was super close. I mean, Kings Row was probably the biggest gap, and there was like a minute or so left on the clock. I mean, Lijiang went basically 99-99 for all 3 sub maps. Certainly the 2 that Minnesota dropped, I think it was a 97 on one and a 98 on the other something. I mean, there was all the way down the board, and then almost bringing Suravasa back. One kill, really. There were 2 players left from Michigan on that point, and that would have flipped. That would have been it. It were 2 kills away from bringing Suravasa back from an 0-2 deficit and really get themselves back in this series. But in the end, it was just not quite meant to be. It was a game of millimeters, Billy. It was a game of millimeters, and Cold Beer was just a couple off from initiating that overtime and keeping things going. But, I mean, I got to applaud their performance out of the Gophers, but a huge congratulations to the Wolverines as they maintain their flawless record. Now moving up to 5-0.
Yep, I mean, this was fantastic from all of them. If I've got an MVP, I think it's got to be Flippy. While we love our Yamitra, our good buddy from all these years, I think Flippy had the most outstanding and most consistent of the day. Those Maywalls were absolutely brutal.
I mean, I would also say Rowie had a spectacular performance, particularly on the Sojourn, thinking maps 2 and 3. Where Rowie's accuracy was uncanny. That triple kill we saw in the back of Kings Row was what gave Michigan that map. I mean, if Rowie doesn't pull out that quick triple, remember that Blizzard froze them up in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
They didn't even get the entire use of that overclock. They only got like half of it and still managed to find 3. So, I mean, DPS line just nasty coming out from Michigan, and certainly a big reason, along with the stalwart take. I mean, it's hard to talk about this team and not just talk about everyone, because Toby One is just a beast up front. Holding off that level of aggression is no small feat, and then what a smart backline from Michigan as well. I mean, we see such intelligent, calculated play coming out from this team. It's no wonder they're 5-0.
Yep. I mean, this is the midpoint here of this first part of the year here in the BEC. They've got, the rest of the titles for the weekend or for the week. They've got Rocket League. They've got Valorant. They've got Super Smash Brothers as well. So, I mean, they've got a full schedule this week here in the BEC. So we'll see if those power rankings do change. But that's going to do it for myself and for Jeff. And thanks to Coach on the back end doing prod and obs for us. Fantastic job. We'll see you next time. Don't be good to each other and have a wonderful evening.
Bye, friends.